Hi, I'm Kevin Mahan.
And I'm Sam Chaplin.
I host the Attitude Era podcast.
And I haven't seen any films.
And welcome to Cinema Swirl. Hello everyone and welcome to Cinema Swirl, episode number 17, and it's our traipse through Tinseltown, dancing through the corridors of Hollywood and Los Angeles, California. However, once again, I'm Kevin, joined as I am in this traipse through Tinseltown, which I've already said, by the OTP himself, talking about Mr. Sam Chaplin.
Oh yeah.
I ain't afraid of no Sam.
No, you sure ain't, because we're here.
Yeah. I ain't afraid of no Sam. I'm going to say that so many times.
What's that from, Kevin?
Well, funny you should ask.
Don't recognise that tune.
This, I was going to say landslide vote, but this is the absolute number one most landslide vote in the history of Cinema Swirl.
Yeah.
For this special themed episode of Fuck It, let's just do Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters got an unprecedented 700 votes, and every single one cast was for Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
I was very impressed by that.
Yeah, you guys are looking forward to this one.
Ghostbusters is a big one. It is right at the top. It's a marquee name.
Yes, it is. It's one of the ones we first thought of when we were kind of talking about this, I think. And we planned to do it.
We did. We actually originally planned to see it in the cinema as part of because they re-released it in the cinemas for like the 25th anniversary. We're like, oh, we'll go see that.
Not up north, they didn't.
Not up north.
Not for us, no. They got that down in posh London.
Oh, posh London. Oh, up your posh London. Busting ghosts. Man, I'm busting me head down, man. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Some sort of pasty, I don't know, you know. Ghost pasties. But yeah,
we didn't get ghost pasties.
We didn't get ghost pasties. We got diddly boo.
Had to settle for Greg's.
Had to settle
again.
Once again. Instead of me and Sam going to the cinema, it's just two of us sitting out eating a chicken and mushroom slice, feeling a bit sick inside, you know. But yes, Ghostbusters. This is definitely a very, very huge one.
Yes.
And I think before we get into the meat and veg of this, we should dip into the ever so magical mailbag. Mailbag's an interesting one. We've quite a few ones which have come in this time into the mailbag. cinemaswirl@gmail.com.
That's cinemaswirl@gmail.com.
We do appreciate all the electronic mail and letters which you send in, which go on our e-fridge.
Yep.
We hang up with e-magnets until something slightly e-better comes along. We shuffle things around a little bit. We've had a few questions here. Some questions about process, some questions about ideas for future movies, and one or two perplexing non-questions. And I will say again, if it's not got a question mark in it, it's not a question. So what are you even thinking of there? Wasting time, is it? So we got one here from Cloana48, Cloacus 40. It's not a real name.
Okay.
Unless your surname is 48. Dear Cinema Swirl, when finishing a film, do you usually jump straight back into the podcast, or you let the movie you've just seen sink in for a while before resuming the episode?
Okay. Yeah. Well, what we do is we watch it.
Yeah.
So we do this bit now.
This bit that we're doing. The bit that we're doing now.
Yeah.
We do
that.
We do that.
So much so that we're doing it right now, and then we stop. We don't stop. We just go into watching the film after that. So when we say let's go do a cinema swirl, we might have a little drink or a snack.
Yeah. Or a wee. Yeah.
And then we'll watch the film.
Like the bit we're going to do, we will be doing that.
Yes.
But the bit that we're doing now.
Yeah.
Okay? And then the other bit, after the movie, sometimes we have another wee.
Yeah.
I get a little worried at Cinema Swirl if I have to do 2Ps, but sometimes you got to do 2Ps.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
I never mention it. I just let it happen.
You let it happen. I did debate originally if we should record those bits. You know, like, let's go do a Cinema Swirl and you hear audio of me and Sam doing a wee, but I didn't think it was really connecting on a podcast.
Email us in if you want that.
If you want audio of Sam and can you identify?
Cash.
There's some premium content for you right there. Whose wee is it? Do you think you could tell our wees apart just from sound alone?
Well, that's a feature if times get tough. We need to think of things.
I was going to say my hypothesis at the moment is that Sam's wee would be fizzy because of all the Pepsi Max. So if Sam did a wee, then after there was a. Yeah. Or if Sam was about to start weeing and you heard tss, then that's the telltale sign that Mr. Chaplin is doing the urine, okay?
So yeah, no, we watch the film and then we kind of pretty much go straight back into it. So there's not much sinking in time.
No, but I like the idea of like
visceral reaction
of the immediate. How did that impact you straight away? Because that was great about when there's some movies which we've watched where the gut reaction has been like and then as you've actually thought about it as we discussed through the episode. Because I mean that's the thing, when you talk about things you've no choice but to think about them. And then you usually you get both. And so we do get the gut reaction at the start, and then we see the actual sinking in.
I think some people did comment about how with the good, the bad, and the ugly, they could hear it sinking in. Like my gut reaction was, "Fuck this stupid movie." It's so
eyes
long.
Slowly glowing wider.
And then I got into it a bit more, and then kind of came back to the same opinion. So yeah, hopefully you can hear that sinking in time unfold.
Yeah, we could plot a graph to see how quickly a movie sinks in for Sam. Or movies that don't require any sinking in.
I suppose it's just for me, isn't it? Because it wouldn't sink in for you.
I mean, sometimes I do realise by doing Cinema Swirl if I like a movie's not aged as well, or if I kind of go, well, fuck, that was a load of nostalgia.
Yeah.
Your reaction really kind of influences my reaction, because again, I'm always looking at this through rose-tinted glasses, whereas you've got the cold stare of a new viewer. Question here from Paul Altazin. Hi there, lads. I was wondering if you'd ever considered throwing in a film like The Wall or the Rocky Horror Picture Show into the swirl. Perhaps if you were to do a rock opera vote. Anyway, hope you're both having a lovely day. That's nice. No, we are having a lovely day.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Paul, for your email.
Cheers, Paul.
A rock opera swirl.
Yeah.
I'm like notorious for my disdain for disdain's a good word, but I'm averse to musicals generally. Even though I like quite a few. But generally speaking, if someone's like, I've got a musical for you, Kevin, I'm like, I'm leaving. Bye. Cars revving up, you know.
Okay.
But Rocky Horror is one which I only watched very, very recently.
Oh, you've seen it now?
I have seen it now.
Okay, that was when we've talked about the possibility of a reverse swirl that everyone wants. The Rocky Horror was the one that neither of us had seen.
We neither of us have seen it.
So I've still not seen it.
I will say I've seen it, okay? But I think I've seen it under the wrong context entirely. Because at the end of it, I was like, I didn't know what was going on.
Oh.
And then someone turned to me and went, you're not meant to know what's going on. Ugh, come on.
Right.
And then I told other people, they're like, yeah, you're not, you did wrong.
So did you watch it with people who had already watched it and really liked it?
I watched it with Joe from
Did you straight up get swirled, Kevin? Is that
I did. I got swirled, but I got swirled in the sense of I think that I didn't go in watching it as I was meant to. I was enjoying the music, but then kind of going, but why is the character doing that? Who's he again? What's going on?
Yeah.
What gender are they? I don't know anymore. And you know that I think I wasted a lot of thought powers, whereas I should have maybe just sat back and enjoyed it. So I do think a rock opera swirl vote would be good.
Yeah.
Chances are Rocky Horror would almost definitely win that, though.
Yeah.
It's one you wanted to watch for a long time.
Yeah. And I've abstained because I think for the sake of the swirl, if it ever comes up. So if that's a possibility. We could do that in the future.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Got one in here from Liam Tasker, which I must say is the coolest damn second name I've ever heard.
Mr. Tasker.
Mr. Tasker.
Was it Mr. Spiller we had before?
Mr. Spiller, yeah. Mr. Tasker. I mean, I'm just saying, could you change your second name to Taskmaster? Because that's fucking badass.
Mr. Tasker.
So Mr. Taskmaster, the master of tasks that must be asked, asks the following. Hi, Cinema Swirls. Will you ever make Sam watch any Irish movies and watch as he is astounded by our rich tapestry of history and bevy of beautiful films?
Okay. From
Liam. Have you ever seen any kind of classic Irish movies?
Hit me up with some of the classic Irish movies.
Maybe have you seen The Guard?
The Guard.
The Guard.
No.
Oh man, that's very good. Have you seen Michael Collins?
That's just a
The
name.
Field.
The Field. The Guard. The Field.
The Place.
Michael Collins.
This
just sounds like you're showing me around Ireland.
There's the Field.
There's the Guard. There's the Field. Oh, Michael Collins.
Michael, how's yourself? I made Joe from How to Wrestling watch Michael Collins, which is a story of how you friggin' English really put us right in it. Right in it.
Yeah.
So I think that might be fun if we had a mixture of movies that will make you ashamed to be British and movies that will make you enchanted by Ireland.
Okay.
Because it'll be like, it'd be horrible if it was just one or the other.
Yeah.
You know? I don't want you to be enchanted until you're ashamed first. Okay. You gotta earn that. You know.
The sorbet before the main meal.
Exactly. I'm not just going to give you a pint of Guinness. You have to eat an oyster first and gag a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Is that a thing?
What? Oysters and Guinness?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And, mate, it's an aphrodisiac. So, you know, it will make your willy huge. That's a whole aphrodisiac.
Right.
We're going.
Well, I want to know more about Ireland now.
It's like a spam email. Like, want to enlarge your member? Click more to find about Michael Collins. Double click. Like, this one from Darren Gamble. And that's why I think we need to settle some of these issues that we've had with a number of people who seem to be calling us out.
Yeah.
Now,
a couple of episodes ago, we had someone call me out, and then we laid down some kind of gauntlet or something.
Well, listen to how this one starts.
Okay.
Hey man, the fuck?
That's you.
That is me.
Yeah.
Still, first name terms.
No.
It's hey man. Sir, the only reason you're allowed to call me hey man is A, if we're fucking both doing our GCSEs and we're kind of tough.
Yeah.
Or B,
hey man, give me those answers.
Hey man, give me the answers to question 1. Or B, if maybe we're like, I don't know, working in a mine or in a prison.
Yeah.
There's no other way for that, like, and also if you're in prison, you would have to be a guard to call me by my surname.
This is the Mahan and Chappers podcast, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't call you Hey, Chaplin, what do you think of Daft Film?
I'd love if that's what we started doing.
Chaplin and Mahan, like...
Chaplin thinks that was a bad film.
I feel so uneasy using surnames. It never works. I'm calling you out one film buff to another. Now, again, I don't know where this rumor started that I'm a film buff. Okay, maybe it's the fact that we called ourselves buffs at one point. But I don't think we're actually daringly challenging someone for a fight on movie knowledge grounds. I'm the guy in Middlesbrough Town Centre with the arrow over my head, ready to challenge your Lincoln-loving posterior. So Mahan, make me famous. Yours sincerely, Darren Joseph Gamble, and then his mobile number, which is winky face. Beep out what I put. 07.
No, I can't.
I think at the point where personal information is being shown, I mean, all I'm saying is I'm going to read dare someone, challenge me and give me your credit card number.
Yeah.
It's worth a shot, man. It's worth a shot.
What does Darren want? I'm not even sure what he's...
I think there must have been an episode where we got like blackout drunk or something and we were like, you know all about movies. Maybe it was the episode where we got the name of the main character wrong maybe it was the name of the episode where we forgot who directed the movie.
Yeah.
Where we really put across the fact that we're film buffs who not only know loads of movies but want to fight other people to prove that.
Must have been that one.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
This is a big one. A huge one. Colossal, some would even say.
Yes.
When did you first hear about Ghostbusters, and how many million times has someone asked you if you've seen it?
Very, very early on in my life, because I remember my older brother having a Ghostbusters toy. He had this
ghost, which he busted at every...
He kept busting his ghost. No, we had like there's a little box, and we had this toy in the garden often, and you'd stamp on it on a thing, and then the thing would open up. Yeah. And that was the toy.
Do you know what that actually is, then?
I enjoyed it for whatever it was.
Well, for your brother, that must have been fun, because I assume your brother did see the movie.
Yeah.
So that, for him, he's simulating something that's happening in the movie, and he's fun. But you, I would wager, I was just
happy to go along with whatever was happening.
You were happy just to push a pedal and a little box to open.
Yeah.
We didn't need much back in the day.
No.
We only had a pedal, we pushed on it, and we were happy. We didn't need no iPhone.
You know those bins that you can do with the pedal? I fucking love those.
Way! Ghostbusters! So obviously you know about the pedal then.
We had the car as well.
Oh, excellent.
Which has kind of fallen to bits, because it obviously been a toy in the family for since the film came out, I think. I don't know.
Were you aware then of the real Ghostbusters? Because it was a cartoon as well. And that's where a lot of the merch came from.
Is this like Hustle and the Real Hustle?
No, it's Ghostbusters, and then there was the real Ghostbusters, which is just what they called the TV show. It was a cartoon, basically.
Okay, right.
Same character names. Weird fun fact: the guy who did the voice of Bill Murray's character is actually the guy who did the voice of Garfield. And then years later, when Garfield was a movie, Bill Murray, in a fit, accidentally, apparently, sure, Bill. Oh no, I've made $1 million. Durr, you Hollywood, damn you process, damn that sign. But yeah, he did the voice of Garfield. So, but I think a lot of the prevalence of Ghostbusters, is possibly from the cartoon as well. Were you aware of there being a tune, or if you saw that?
I seem to remember any kind of Ghostbusters cartoon. I don't think I've ever seen that. I think I probably in my mind got things mixed up with Casper the Friendly Ghost in terms of just ghost stuff. Because the logo, which is...
It's a little friendly, cuddly Ku Klux Klan guy with a no, with like a right to censor style image over it saying, not allowed here.
Yeah. Bust these things.
Bust these things. If you see them, bust them. Bust them quick and fast and hard.
Yeah. That's kind of like everywhere. Not everywhere, but I mean, you see
it's
it
a
lot
frequent logo, yeah.
So I saw that, and I kind of knew about kind of ghosts and things, and I remember watching Casper and knowing about those ghosts. So I think somewhere my cultural understanding of what these things got kind of mixed up. And
so you have seen Casper the movie?
Yes.
Because you know in Casper the movie there's a part where the Ghostbusters comes out and goes, who gonna call? Someone else. So you have been, I mean, Ghostbusters is something that you've seen referenced a lot?
Yeah.
How so? Or where so?
I see things to do with Ghostbusters a lot. So that logo, the kind of outfit.
What is the outfit?
It's like a grey, beigey looking jumpsuit type thing.
You don't make it sound interesting.
These blokes going around in beige.
Who push on pedals and drive the car.
They kind of look like cleaners, but they're cleaning ghosts.
Yeah, okay, I like that analogy.
They've got like ghost hoovers.
Ghost cleaners?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you had a cleaning service...
If there's a messy ghost in your neighbourhood...
Call these lads.
Yeah.
You know? Are you aware of any of like the major kind of... I mean, there's so much... quotes and things like that. Are you aware of any of like the characters or specific ghosts in the movie that are famous?
Okay, so in terms of people that I know from Ghostbusters, there is Bill Murray's character.
Yeah, who
played by Bill Murray.
Bill Murray, who plays the role of Bill Murray.
Yeah, we're recording this on Bill Murray's birthday.
Complete coincidence on purpose.
Yeah, Dan and Aykroyd. I think he's in it.
Yep.
Yeah,
with his crystal skulls.
Yeah.
Fucking madman that he is.
I don't know much about Dan Aykroyd.
All I know is that he thinks the whole crystal skull gimmick is legitimate.
Crystal skull gimmick?
As in, that there's been we have found crystal skulls throughout the world and we can't explain where they came from. Therefore, aliens.
Is that the plot of Indiana Jones 4?
Basically.
Yeah.
He was moved much more to Indiana Jones 4 than you ever could have been.
Yeah.
Even though you found the villain that rate hot. So, just so you know. So there's Dan and Aykroyd.
Yeah.
Bill Murray. Bill Murray Mintz.
Yeah. And
the others.
Some other people who are in it as well. In terms of the ghosts...
Because I would say in Ghostbusters there's two very famous ghosts. One very big, one very small.
Okay, is one of them a Michelin Man?
Michelin Man?
No? Marshmallow Man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Michelin Man. This movie's going to take unprecedented reality. I'm just going to imagine how the Michelin Man storming through New York, taking away 5 stars from restaurants with Gordon Ramsay on his shoulder going, take it away, get out.
As in Michelin Tires have got a big man, they've got a big cartoon man character. So
it's not Michelin Man, but Marshmallow Man.
A big stay puffed.
Oh, very good.
Because that's also its own cultural thing, isn't it? That character.
Well, yeah, but through Ghostbusters, I would say.
But it was like a brand logo before that.
I don't think so. I could be. I don't know American brands of marshmallows. All I know is that you can buy Stay Puft Marshmallow Man merchandise, and it almost always has a Ghostbusters logo.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So that's all I know about that. But do tweet in if that is a shoot brand of marshmallow.
So he's one of the big ones.
Yeah. I was going to say the smaller one, if you're not familiar with the cartoon, maybe not so much, but a green chap named Slimer.
I was going to say Slimer, but I didn't want to embarrass myself in case he was like...
Slimo.
I thought, he might be like Casper or something.
Honestly, Casper... I know Casper was a comic before Ghostbusters, but the Casper movie, in terms of gross ghosts and stuff like that, are really lifted from this heavily, I think.
So I thought in my mind, I was like, I don't know, I don't want to embarrass myself. I go, Slimer, and they were like, that's from Casper, you dick.
There's Stinky and Casper, I think.
Right.
Stinky is different.
Stinky doesn't make an appearance in this.
No, Stinky, he stays in Casper land.
Okay.
So
those are the people I know.
You know some ghosts, you know some characters, the get up.
Yeah.
What's happening in Ghostbusters though? What do you know is the...
Something strange in the neighbourhood, mate.
You know the song then?
Yeah, of course I know the song.
Can you do the song for me? Yeah. And so, there's something strange.
England? Yeah.
I ain't afraid of no goals. That's why we score them. We do, England. So the song,
Yeah.
But the theme,
the song's a big fucking deal.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
Yeah.
Did that song not make you want to watch this movie? Like
I was happy enough with the song.
I mean, it's a good fucking song.
It tells the whole story.
I've got it on vinyl, a little ghost vinyl.
Have you got the glow in the dark?
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted that. That was a record store day one.
It's got a little schmuck on it, but it still does the business.
The glow in the dark.
Yeah, it goes in the dark. It's very cute.
That's cool.
So the characters, some ghosts, the song,
Ray Parker Jr.
Ray Parker Jr. Very good. So what happens to Ghostbusters then, or do you know?
Well, there's something strange in the neighborhood, right? And then
now I will say that the stanzas of Ghostbusters, the song, isn't just like a synopsis.
Is that not the...
Well, there is something...
With a Wikipedia synopsis verbatim. It's just the lyrics of the song.
Ghostbusters is the 1982 movie where there is something strange in the neighborhood. Who are you going to call Ghostbusters? But there is something strange in the neighborhood. But broader than that, plot-wise...
well, I can't think of what it would be other than some ghosts are turning up, causing a right ruckus. And then they need some Ghostbusters, right? And now I think these lads... Mm-hmm. I think they're all lads.
Yeah, well, they are all lads,
they're doing an all-female Ghostbusters
Good job correctly identifying the gender of Bill Murray and his fucking...
No, but I know that there's 3 or 4 main ones.
4 guys, yeah.
There could have been a girl one in there.
Mate, I think Cinema Swirl, which basically shows Hollywood was even more sexist in the 80s than it was in the 90s. That's what this show proves.
I didn't know whether there'd be some kind of token...
Sadly not.
Girl character to...
Wouldn't have even occurred.
It up. So they... I don't know whether they start their ghostbusting business because there's a demand.
Or if it's an established enterprise.
They are the Ghostbusters. Yeah. And they're like, guys, there's no ghosts anymore. And then some ghosts come along and they're like, right, we're back in... I feel there's some kind of angle where they're down and out.
Yeah.
And they need this.
So you think there's a point where they may or may not be on Skid Row?
Because they look scruffy. They look like a bunch of...
They do look like... I mean, if Mickey saw him, he'd pick him up and put him on Skid Row.
Yeah.
Along with Rocky's bags on Skid Row.
I've seen the poster and some other photos of the cast, and I kind of know what they vaguely look like.
So you don't think they're successful then? Do you think they're competent at busting ghosts?
They've got a film, mate.
One which I'm maybe interested in seeing what you think is, what do you think the tone of comedy is in this? Do you think we're going in for raucous family comedy, wacky kid comedy, edgy 80s alternative comedy?
It's a family film.
Family movie? Okay.
Oh, right, okay. Now, because you mentioned the cartoon, I'm now thinking... probably less family-y than I think it's going to be. The cartoon was the family bit. So the kids like these characters, but they shouldn't be watching the movie. Let's make a cartoon that's more lighthearted and fun.
Yeah, I mean, I remember watching this from a very, very young age. I mean, broadly speaking, I think it is...
I was playing with the damn toys, even though I didn't know what was going on.
I don't think it's Batman Returns levels of not appropriate, but I don't think it's like Rambo or something. Okay. I think it's one of those nice sweet spots from what I remember. It's been a few years since I've seen this. I do remember it having that beautiful sweet spot of jokes for the kids, but stuff for the adults that the kids aren't going to go, what? The kids aren't even going to notice that there's other jokes in there. Like Animaniacs, basically, So the one I wanted to figure out was, how did you not see this movie? Because I remember, despite the fact that I've said, for fuck's sake, to you around 90 trillion times about movies, I can, in my head, resign the fact not seeing, a Star Wars or, a Lord of the Rings or, things that are big brands and whatnot. But this movie, I would have thought, just for the sake of peace in your own social life, that you just would have watched this thing and gone, did it genuinely not appeal to you? Or what?
I don't know why I haven't seen it.
Because I put this in here with Back to the Future in terms of everyone in our age bracket has nostalgic memories about this movie.
I think
except you.
Except me. It kind of feels like I was surrounded by the merchandise or culture of it.
Yeah.
And almost to the point where I didn't need the movie. I just everyone liked it. And you didn't have to know a lot to like Ghostbusters, I imagine.
Do you reckon you could have
I could have easily blagged, just been like, oh yeah, fucking love Ghostbusters. Oh, that bit where they bust them ghosts. And people would have gone, yeah.
Mate, Bill Murray.
Bill fucking Murray, man.
Fucking pedal, dude. You fucking push that thing with your foot. But
I could have dined out on that pedal knowledge. People would have gone, oh, he knows that movie because he's pedal.
You would have invited into the inner circle with that shit. Yeah. Like, I mean, Dan Aykroyd would show you the crystal skulls in his desk with that kind of knowledge.
Who's the third one?
The other one is Egon, who is the nerdy one, played by Harold Ramis, who died recently, if memory serves.
Okay.
Harold Ramis would be more known for writing and producing movies in later years than he would have been for acting. Okay. He's very, very, very funny.
So is it a core trio?
So you've got Harold Ramis, who's Egon. You've got Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray.
Yeah.
And then you've got Winston, who's played by Ernie Hudson.
Okay.
So you've got some diversity there, I guess, but it's a gruesome foursome.
Okay.
Why only? I mean, because most of those actors, maybe I don't know about Ernie Hudson or Harold Ramis, you may be familiar with. Yeah. Dan Aykroyd we chatted about briefly, but I suppose it is the first time he's come up in this podcast, and seeing as the world is severely obsessed with the man, thoughts on Bill Murray?
I like Bill. I like Bill Murray movies.
What have you seen him in?
Every fucking Wes Anderson film.
He's fucking brilliant in Wes Anderson movies.
He's great in those. So I only really know old, sad Bill Murray.
So you know
Renaissance Bill Murray. Bill Murray's he's kind of reinvigorated his career with this whole kind of sad
Lost in Translation. And
no, I haven't.
Broken Flowers.
No,
I mean, if you want to see really sad Bill Murray,
that's where to go. You know, I've seen him in those Wes Anderson movies, probably other stuff.
Yeah.
Now. Here's the thing about Bill Murray.
The
whole Bill Murray cult, it's like a hipster Chuck Norris thing to me.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good analogy.
Yeah.
Definitely.
The whole kind of, oh man, Bill Murray came to a party and he went behind the bar and he served everyone cocktails.
It's mostly bullshit.
You wouldn't believe it, man. No, but there's photos of some of them and there's some things that he does that are unbelievable.
I remember when I was living in Glasgow.
Yeah.
And the people who swore up and down that Bill Murray was at this house party at the fucking the cool fucking art school house where people were all, and it's like, the party was so, Bill Murray showed up. Now, I'm not disputing for a fact that you believed Bill Murray showed up depending on what you were taking, okay? Bill Murray could show up in any manner of circumstances if we're including that. But it's when the story of, I've heard the story of, and then Bill Murray apparently showed up and he started doing the dishes.
Yeah.
You know, it's...
But some of those, there's actual facts to back them
up. There is, but I don't think Bill Murray has appeared in every major town that has a university in the UK and has done the dishes in some fucking house party.
But he is an eccentric, I think. In a quiet... He turns up places and does stuff. Like a band I really like just tweeted a photo of Bill Murray like getting a piggyback off them. And I'm like, why is he there? What's he doing?
You see, he takes like really cool pictures with fans randomly and stuff like that.
Or does viral videos with people to help out, or does something at someone's wedding or something. It's that kind of stuff.
I think it's because he is so genuinely like, you know, removed from so much of like current goings on. That it seems that, because you hear the stories that he doesn't... answer the phone, like he only like picks up random scripts. If you if you don't get him on the phone, you won't get him in your movie. That kind of, you know, all that kind of weird stuff about how he just seems to operate on a different time frame from everyone else.
Oh, I've seen Groundhog Day as well.
Very
I've seen
good.
old, but I fucking love Groundhog
Day. Absolutely golden. One of my all-time favourites.
Forgot about that, but that was great.
But yeah, in terms of that, I think it's like, there is an element of he doesn't seem to conform to what you expect celebrities to do.
Yeah.
And for me, that's kind of like, that's a bit quirky. But I think for some people, because there is this mystique that's built up around him, and then he does do those random little videos and appearances and stuff, that he just has this like demigod status among... There's a very specific type of person. Not quite a nerd, not quite a hipster.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say it right now. When I was 19, I would have thought, like, Bill Murray. That's the funniest thing.
It's Bill fucking Murray.
Bill fucking Murray. Yeah. Let me get a t-shirt with his face on it, you know? Yeah. Let me follow a Twitter bot that just does Bill Murray quotes, or quotes that he might have said if he would use Twitter, which he doesn't.
I think the one story that bothered me the most is the one where Bill Murray comes up, steals someone's chips, and then turns around and says, "No one will believe you," and then skulks off into the night.
Yeah, I've heard that one in 3 different scenarios. And I've actually heard ones combined where Bill Murray was like, "Whoa, Bill Murray's doing the dishes at my party. No one will believe you." And mate, he's not just running around doing dishes telling people you won't believe him. He's a busy man.
Well, I don't know, because like everyone sells these stories as like, oh my god, that's so unbelievable. Why would he do it? What's the but like to me now, the thing would be if Bill Murray sat down and had a night in and didn't do anything. Fucking unbelievable. Yeah, that's some crazy Bill Murray action going on. But him just doing little things. Cause
I imagine the schedule keeping like, Bill, can you do this movie? Sorry, I'm actually in Aberystwyth University. There's a house party going on. I reckon I should do the dishes and tell someone they'll never believe me. I'll catch you later. And I don't mean to be such a fucking cynic, but it's just when those stories first came out, it was like, oh, it
seems cool.
But I think maybe it's the advent of Twitter and social media where then everyone was doing this.
I saw a Bill Murray colouring book, and I'm like, oh, he's a weird kind of brand. Even though he's not done any of it himself, it's kind of just
it seems like he's just sat back and this like cult has built around him. I'll be honest, any of the stories of Bill Murray showing up at house parties and doing something wacky haven't really had the same impact to me on the stories of Bill Murray allegedly beating his spouse. And that kind of has made more of an impact on me in recent years, quite frankly, than any of the other ones. But I mean, Bill Murray is someone who I think he is like a comedy legend, is the best way to describe him. But I don't know if maybe he's built up too much. Because, I mean, you're a comedy man.
Yeah.
I mean, where's your stance on the Billster?
Well, it's funny in Groundhog Day. He's been funny in some of the sad movies he's been in.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I guess this is going to be a good test of whether I like Bill Murray as much as everyone else.
This is like one of his most mainstream movies, and he's very Bill Murray in it. It's almost as if he's reading from a different script to everyone else. But yeah, keep your eye on it, because I really want to see what you think of it.
It's probably a combination of like, this guy's doing all these wild things, and also he's that guy from those films we watched when we were kids.
Yeah.
So I don't have the films we watched when we were kids thing.
He's that guy who's a supporting character in that Wes Anderson movie we watched last weekend.
Doing weird stuff.
It has less of an impact that way,
Calm down, mate.
Yeah. So there's no nostalgia here with Bill Murray, I'm guessing.
Apart from Groundhog Day and probably some other stuff that's slipped in, because he's a recognisable face.
Yeah, definitely.
In terms of like movies that were around in the 80s and 90s. But yeah, no, I'm excited to see Ghostbusters. I don't know anything about Dan Aykroyd, really.
Well, I mean, Dan Aykroyd, again, 80s comedy legends.
Yeah.
Again, lots of writing and producing credits now, more so than actual acting appearances. But this is kind of a comedy powerhouse. Mm-hmm. Obviously with the exception of Ernie Hudson, who maybe wouldn't be part of that whole Saturday Night Live scene like these guys were. But these guys are seriously like the three big players of 80s comedy.
So they all come out of SNL?
They all have SNL backgrounds, as far as I'm aware. Yeah.
So this is like the equivalent of... Because you see that a lot with films, that you have a cast of SNL.
The ensemble guys.
And some of them get pushed up into motion pictures, and then they just do that for a bit, and that's their thing, and then there's another gang, and they come up. So at the moment you've got...
the recent crop of people from Saturday Night Live? Andy Samberg and some of that, I would say, be the kinds of people. Yeah. It's interesting. But yeah, this is blockbuster at its peak, I would say. Are you excited to watch Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
I ain't afraid of no cinema swirls, so let's go do one. It's something strange in the Premier League. And you're gonna call Footbusters. That was the best episode of Most Haunted Live I've seen since the special where they looked at that old farm in Grimsby. It was Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
In the books. Finally watched it after all these years.
I've seen it now.
Your initial gut reaction to Ghostbusters?
My gut reaction will come as a quote from the actual song, which I heard at the end. I always forget is a line in that song. Bustin' makes me feel good.
Bustin' makes me feel good. That's good. That's good.
I feel good.
You feel good
as a result of busting.
It was a positive experience.
Yeah.
That's good, because I was worried that you weren't laughing a lot.
I wasn't laughing a lot, but I still enjoyed it.
Am I right to say that there's more to this movie than just laughs?
What?
I mean, but it does. I think, because I was watching it back and I was kind of like, I'm not saying it's not a funny movie. It is.
It's not hilarious.
but I would be pushed to call it with mine adult eyes like absolutely hilarious. Like, we weren't rolling on the floor.
It is a comedy.
But it is a comedy. But I think there is more to it than just that. I think one of the most important things about this movie is that it's very much a feel-good adventure type scenario.
Yeah.
And you do feel warm and cuddly inside at the end of it.
Yes.
So it was a positive experience for you.
Yeah, I feel covered in marshmallow and all,
Yeah, I kind of want a marshmallow now.
Yeah.
How about you? Yeah. Very good. Well, right off the bat, we start off this funky-ass movie in the New York Library. Now, did you know that this movie is kind of very synonymous with the old NYC, the Big Apple?
No, I didn't until I started watching it.
Because I think it's kind of one of the reasons why this movie is so iconic is its use of big New York landmarks. I mean, I'll be honest, when I was in New York, I went to the library. I didn't go to read a load of old footy-duddy books, mate. Yeah. I went in there, so I go, it's Ghostbusters! Ah! Imagine the librarians there must just fucking hate everyone. Yeah. But we do open up in the New York Library, and the tone is set quite early on. Is big spooky going down. There's ghosts moving shit.
Books moving around. You know, when you're not alive, but you like a read... What are you going to join? Ghost Book Club. Yeah?
Boo.
Yeah?
For fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Why do ghosts love to, like, throw shit around?
I don't know. Because it's not... Can't you think
it's not helpful.
Doing it in a kind of human type way, that they're just having a read and moving around. It just so happens that because they're invisible, it looks freaky. Because they're doing proper fucking shit.
I'm saying if they were doing that as a human, because they're getting away with it just because they're a ghost. But if you were a human throwing library cards around, you'd be out in your fucking ear. Yeah. All right, that carry-on is not.
Your library card will be revoked.
You wouldn't be allowed back in. Yeah. You wouldn't get a scream. You get a telling off and a clip around the ear. That's what you get. But yeah, ghosts love wrecking shit, and we see it early on. You kind of allude to that. It's a big Did you think this movie was going to be have scary bits? I wonder.
Well, I knew there'd be ghosts.
Ghosts. Ghosts with a Z.
Yeah. So I thought, there's going to be some scares. I didn't know whether it was going to be scary.
Yeah.
But I knew there'd be scares in it.
Oh, very interesting.
But the kind of and then the kind of camera does a little circle thing that looks like the start of James Bond. This poor librarian is like,
The spy who busted ghosts. You know, Daniel Craig in Ghostbuster. It could be a new Bond movie. You know,
that'd be great.
The theme right off the bat at the start there, captivating the movie. I've always thought this about this theme. It's such a good theme that this movie could have been utter dog shit, and it still would have gotten away.
Yeah.
Kind of, it wouldn't be memorable forever, but it would have been a box office smash, and still, that's how good that theme is.
Yeah. I think
I can't think of a theme as iconic as that.
No. Weirdly, it's not really tied to the movie. And I know that sounds stupid because it's called Ghostbusters. It's about Ghostbusters. But that song...
It's its own thing. I would say, because people are going to go, oh yeah, but surely blank is a better movie theme. Or, it's a more iconic theme. But no one's going to stick on Jaws at the end of a night at a house party. No. Everyone's going to go, yeah, da-da, but Ghostbusters.
There's not many songs like that you can put in a party playlist and people will go, that are soundtrack songs.
Yeah, because even the ones, you would argue a lot of the really iconic music from Back to the Future was iconic separately from Back to the Future, already or since, but definitely Ghostbusters. God, it's such a fucking good. And you know what as well? It's clearly meant to be Huey Lewis and the News singing that with that kind of song.
Was there a thing about that?
I heard that there was.
Yeah.
That originally that was the plan, and then that it didn't happen for whatever reason. And
Ray Parker Jr.
Goal. Ray Parker Jr. Tonight on Stars in Your Eyes, I'm going to be Huey Lewis in the News. Power of love. We meet the paranormal gang starting off. Yeah. They are would-be pseudo-scientific researchers, seemingly in New York University. New York.
We meet Peter Venkman doing some cruel card tricks.
I will say, I called him intermittently Bill, Peter, and Venkman. So okay, Bill. So we know his name is actually Venkman in this, but we will refer to him intermittently between all three.
I've often referred to him as Bill Murray.
Peter Venkman's character is, what if Bill Murray became a ghost guy? That is it.
Yeah.
That is his character.
Pretty much.
It's interesting because there's three of them at the research at the start. There's Ray, who's played by Dan Aykroyd. Mm-hmm. You've got Egon, who's played by Ramis. And then you've got Venkman, who is played by Bill Murray.
Yeah.
And Egon and Ray seem very much like they're super into their ghosts.
Yeah.
And it's never really gone into it, but you do get the sense that Bill Murray's character is either A, a skeptic, or B, just very, very good at bullshitting his way through an academic career.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's like a cynical, charming moneymaker type who doesn't really care about the ghost thing until it is a business opportunity. There's like, oh yeah, I'll do it. You know,
they claim he's got 2 PhDs, one of which is in psychology, which is legit, obviously.
The parapsychology.
The parapsychology one, a little less so. But I wonder if that's ever like, if you're someone who's into the greater Ghostbusters lore, is that ever expanded upon? Why he is?
There's a bit where it's saying you never studied, so I think he got through university somehow, but probably through his cheeky charm,
got 2 PhDs.
Yeah.
Cheeky charm will only get you so far, man.
Stole the answers off a nerd.
He cheated on the test, you know. So yeah, he's a pretty bad researcher, but he's quite a brazen flirt.
It immediately introduces the whole kind of womanizer type Bill Murray, or kind of desperate flirt in a very... It's quite charming, but
it's
in
like,
a kind of
you're
sad,
insulting, but you're so charming, I can't say anything.
Kind of way. He looks really miserable, but he can kind of charm you.
I think you could cut this movie in a way that makes him seem like the biggest creep on
planet
Earth.
He seems creepy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like it's good behaviour, the whole, I'll electrocute this guy and just tell this lady that she's psychic.
You see, me and Sam, right, we're feminists, and that's why we electrocute women as well as men.
Yeah.
Because we believe in equal chances for everyone, okay?
Exactly.
Regardless of your gender. Venkman. So we get into they get a call and they have to go investigate the library. And it's funny because they're like, I still don't understand how they managed to get a position of responsibility in a university in a science department where they clearly are working with what is later referred to as pseudoscience or cod science.
Yeah.
But you get the feel that they're not very busy or they don't have a lot to do. No. They get called to go and see what happened with the ghost librarian, and they have to investigate the library. Yeah. Now, honestly, if I was them and I visited the library, being a skeptical fellow, I would have thought it was the work of an antisocial serial masturbator, mainly because there's shit knocked over everywhere and a viscous liquid over most of the books.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was where my mind went with that. But then we soon see that there is a ghost librarian. This freaked me the fuck out as a kid.
Yeah, well, that's the thing I was thinking, that the ghosts are actually quite scary looking.
They are and they aren't.
There's the human one. So she's kind of humanoid.
Yeah.
This librarian.
Because she's all
nice. Yeah, which I thought was a funny gag.
Very funny, yeah.
To try and talk to this guy. She's librarian.
Then it says, blah! She gives you one of those, like, I'm not sure it's because we did watch this on Blu-ray, and I do believe it could have been an issue that the fact that because it was on the Blu-ray, is that you could actually very clearly see like a lot of the outlines and the kind of the cutting in. Now, I do remember seeing this on video back in the day and, pausing and going like, wow, how did they do that? Because it looks all see-through. And watching it this time, I was like, is this a downfall of high definition? Is the fact that it made a lot of the effects look a little shonky. There was like an outline almost.
Yeah.
Which maybe it was the fact that I was a kid and I was giving it more credit, but watching it this time, I was like,
I think we've mentioned this before with other films that often the special effects will suit smaller telly, VHS quality.
And I've got a big TV.
We'll play on Blu-ray format. But, that's just kind of what's happened. Technology's kind of got bigger and you can see things more clearly, which is good for new stuff.
Yeah.
The old stuff, things like that will show up.
I mean, it's just the way it is. As technology gets greater, you will enjoy Ghostbusters less.
Yeah.
Technology will advance to the point where the jokes aren't funny anymore. Technology will advance to the point where Peter Venkman's less charming. It happens. It's inevitable. Yeah. But they all get scared by the spooky ghost, which I think was quite... They all run...
That said, it is kind of a scary image.
It is, the big... Like, blah,
No matter how kind of strange or fake looking it looks, it is freaky.
But I like, though, the fact that even though you get a big boo, you still get this kind of like a... running away because we've seen something dead. You know, it was kind of
odd music choice, but it kind of worked.
It was kind of like your dad going, don't worry. Hey, listen to that piano. Look at him run funny, you know. So they go back to the university where the crusty, evil old dean has told them that their grant is gone. Now, as someone who has been involved in the academic research world, the idea of you getting a grant, offices, doctorates, and like your own fucking research whole station, and then someone coming in going, your theories are ridiculous. Your results are laughable.
Get out!
Your conclusions are cock. Your methods are madness. You know, your data is dick. It wouldn't happen. He's like, you're not even scientists. Why did you give him the grant?
It'd be a slightly longer process than that.
It's so long.
You think there'd be some forms involved or some signing of something?
No.
Just get out.
Well, hey, would-be scientists flock to New York. They'll give grants to any old fucker and follow a 2-year waiting period. They might look and see what you're doing.
They literally, in a scene, transition from scientists to bums on the street.
Seriously. You know, I mean, you don't see too many postdoctoral researchers on Skid Row with all their shit in a box going, damn it, they figured out we're not actually scientists. But yeah, they're on Skid Row, and the big idea comes from the money-making Venkman, who's the least academic of the three, who thinks that the way to go is to charge people money for like a private industry where they take care of ghosts. And you think that he's doing it from the angle of, we can probably make a lot of money out of a lot of saps. But they have just seen a ghost, so there's an element of, there could be something here. And in the spirit of the American dream, they take out a loan with
Duncan Bannatyne gives them the money they asked for in return for a 10% investment.
More than 10%, it's like 19%. It's ridiculous. So they got a big loan, a big wacky building, a new car, and an even bigger plan. The only thing bigger than their dreams is their ambition. I do like the big wacky building.
Yes, I do. It suits them very well.
In my more cynical moments, I kind of go, I bet they sat around going, lads, if we did this at like a big wacky fucking old fire station, we'd make toys out of this shit, like.
Yeah.
Or that car there, we'll make toys. I mean, I wonder, do they...
Those meetings must happen.
They have to. I wonder, do they happen in the 80s, though?
Yeah.
With stuff written by
totally.
Harold Ramis and Dan Aykroyd.
This was like, after Star Wars, when the whole toys from movies was a big deal. So anytime you have any kind of cool prop or vehicle or location, there's probably going to be some kind of meeting with people to make it look
viable,
and whether it can work as a toy.
A meeting where they can figuratively paint dollar signs on your eyes. Like,
you'd like to think that these creative people make their movies, and then the merchandisers come in and try and make merchandise around it.
That's what I think.
We'll do the best we can with the artist's vision.
Well, thank goodness you picked the Ecto 1, because that's a very toyetic car. But, I mean, there is like a 15-minute part here of the movie where, honestly, the laughs were rather light, but I felt quite like, because it's all iconic shit from, like, most people's childhood. So it's kind of like, look, the pole. Look, Ecto 1, look, they've got, the secretary, Janine. Look, remember her? And I don't know if you were enjoying that part as much, or did that stuff kind of ring true
I did
for
enjoy
you?
It felt like they were setting up what Ghostbusters looks like, basically, which was nice. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the process of it, even though I kind of knew what most of the things would look like. Car stuff.
We're introduced to the main female character of the movie, played by one of our favourite actors.
Sigourney Bloody
Weaver. Were you excited to see her in this? She's fucking awesome.
She is awesome.
She is damn awesome. And someone else who I absolutely adore. So
Rivers
happy.
Cuomo from Weezer.
Yes. This is that difficult concept album where he insisted on playing all the instruments and starring in a small role in Ghostbusters before they would record anything, But you can't argue with it. He got a few hits out of it. Rick Moranis.
Yep.
Big fan.
Yeah.
Makes me sad that
he's just stopped, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Was it because of
I remember reading it. It was just kind of like, well, it wasn't worth doing anymore, so I'm retired from that.
I think it was one of those, like, personal tragedy and then didn't want to do anything.
Oh, I didn't know there was a personal tragedy.
I don't know, because we could look this up. I think it's something like his wife died.
I remember, you're right. I think I've heard something like that.
I'm just not
That's
doing
sad.
any movies anymore.
He's so good.
And I've seen campaigns for him to come back and do movies and stuff, and he just doesn't want to.
That's really... I mean, I'd love for him to, like, even if when they do Ghostbusters 3, for him to make a cameo of some sort. Because I think he's, like... I would say he's as important a character in this as anyone else. I think he's as iconic as any of the other guys, you know?
He reminds me a bit of Crispin Glover's character in Back to the Future.
Kind of hopeless nerd type guy. But,
it's a good stereotypical character. I like that kind of...
But he plays it so well, you know? He's absolute to a T. And he's bothering Sigourney Weaver, like, kind of wanting to date, you know? I love the trope of the successful but hopeless nerd. Like, he's a really successful accountant, but he probably is...
But he can't get a date.
I can't get that kiss. We see a sweet-ass Ghostbusters ad, which I kind of wish I could see full screen.
That.
We're willing to believe you. I really liked it. It was really
that's very funny. That's the kind of thing that they should do as like a trailer for the new one. They should have the actual advert cut properly.
But it was really good because like even the fact that it was like they did it in the way that they were all clearly uncomfortable, where they all stood up and like one of them walked forward, went, "Are you experiencing this?" And the other one like walks back, and then the other one walks forward. Then you can call us on this number. And he walks back and he walks forward. It's so like as if three weird men would try and make an ad for their ghost catching service. It's really, really well done. Like, but yeah, Sigourney Weaver's got a big problem.
Now, okay, right. You asked me to ask you something about this. She has got a big problem. She's in her apartment, is she, at this point? And she's got some eggs. Now, American eggs. Or Sigourney Weaver's eggs. That's the wrong way.
That's phrasing. That's the wrong way. She's not frozen, if that's what you want.
The eggs in this film, which I assume are what most American eggs look like.
American Eggs sounds like a great name for a band.
It does.
American Eggs. American Eggs. When you see them come, better run for cover.
The American eggs are white.
Yeah.
Paper white. Now, I'm not used to eggs being that colour.
What colour are your eggs over here in this land?
Eggs are more kind of browny beige.
They're kind of like Sam if he sat in the sun for a little bit.
Yeah, they're a bit orangey.
Yeah, they're kind of a dark puce.
Yes,
I would say. It's with a few.
Another great band there.
A great dark puce. With dark puce.
This is American Eggs. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, they're kind of a dark piece sometimes with freckles.
Yeah.
Regular, completely straight up chicken eggs, as they should appear, to the best of my knowledge, are just plain white as fuck eggs, like you see the American ones there.
Right.
And this is one of the weird occasions where it's actually us over here, not them over there, where they're wrong. I believe...
Them darn Yanks.
I think, as far as I know, that the regular chicken egg should just be white, but we feed them like a special meal over here. The food that we eat, we feed them over here, turns the shell that colour, because apparently we associate, if they have that colour, that it's a good egg.
Yeah.
Whereas if we saw like a pale white egg, we'd be like, "There's something wrong with that egg."
This is an American prop egg.
I think it's because when you get a lot of sweatshop eggs, basically they would all be coming out like white normally, but they put something in the feed. It's a special food that they eat, so they give that kind of nice wholesome colour. To the best of my knowledge, part of me is thinking it could be the other way around. That in America they think it's better for them to be white, and they feed them something there.
Yeah.
But as far as I remember, because I do recall, because if you see a duck egg or something like that in a shop, it's white as fuck. Or a quail egg or anything like that. It's just the chicken eggs are inexplicably this different weird colour. So yeah, there you go.
So strange.
A little bit of an egg diversion for you.
Yeah.
I love eggs.
Egg.
So she's got some problems with her eggs. Her eggs are haunted.
They're wiggling around and they start cooking themselves.
I mean, that would be handy, mate. Come in from a long day at work, get the supper on their eggs, cook yourselves, Sadly, it doesn't usually work like that. These get all bubbly and frothy and gross. And if that's not enough, she's only got a bloody monster in her fridge.
She's got a Vaporwave album cover in her fridge.
Seriously.
Really freaky.
Opens up with those dry ice and fucking organs and demon voices.
It triangular looking things.
It freaked you out.
Yeah.
You did let out a scream, but you did say, "That's a bit much."
Yeah.
At the time.
Which is not what Sigourney said.
No, it's actually. I think she said,
"Oh, that's a bit much."
That's a bit much. First the eggs, and now this. Are you having a laugh? Are you
I'm having a kitchen nightmare.
Sigourney's got a problem. Her eggs are cooking themselves. Look at this fridge. There's a demon in there. Come on, up your game. Get out. Yep. So, Sigourney decides to hire the Ghostbusters. She comes in and meets them. Bill says he's got to do a house call. He says he's got to go check her out.
I mean, check out the apartment.
Check out the apartment. Very good.
He goofs. Yeah, he's very desperate to please to help the pretty lady when she turns up. He's immediately jumps over the furniture.
Oh yeah. I mean, you know what I think it might be? If he was played by, like, Hugh Grant and had the exact same lines and character, people would be like, ooh! But here, instead, it's kind of like, Venkman. But, you know, he's that kind of bumbly, like, ooh, I'd very much like to touch your bum. You know, that I know what you're doing.
Sorry, bumbly, bubbly.
I know what you're doing there, Hugh. I know what you're doing. I've seen your police photo. I know what you're capable of. I know what you're capable of.
But actually, here's the thing. Does Bill Murray have a police photo? He must do.
Well, I'm pretty sure he does, because I remember he got arrested. He got arrested when he was, like, driving a golf caddy on, like, the main road once.
Fuck's sake.
As far as I know.
Bill fucking Murray, man.
And the police officer went to arrest him, and then Bill Murray said, "No one's ever going to believe you, because I'm Bill Murray." And then when he went to prison, he started washing up all the things in the prison. Why would he do that? So Bill heads over to the old house call. There's some things he does here that always make me laugh. Like when he comes in and he starts hitting the high notes on the piano. Yeah, it's Venkman. They hate that. You know,
the little line she says, "Well, that's the bedroom, but nothing ever happens in there." And he says, "What a crime!"
Mate, I think he's breaking down the professional barrier between ghost consultant and client. Okay?
Yeah, it's not appropriate.
Not appropriate.
Bill,
not
Peter.
appropriate in the ghost environment. Okay. So we find out about Zool, okay?
Yeah.
Zool is a fucking awesome word.
Yeah.
I love Zool.
She's heard Zool.
She's heard
the
Zool.
fridge.
Zool.
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 Microsoft Zool.
Zool sounds like a would-be search engine, doesn't it? Like, you get your aunt, someone who's not, I'll check it on Zool.
Yeah, Z-O-O-L.
I don't like Google. They read my data. I'll check it on Zool.
Z-O-O-L is like a realistic internet startup now, isn't it?
Yeah.
You have Zool.
Or like a really shitty MP3 player that fucking, I don't know, like Bob Dylan. He wants fidelity in his audio. That's why I use the Zool MP3 player. It does it properly. Because they're FLAC files.
Don't be a fool. Get a Zool.
There you go. Mate, we're onto something with this, I think. So, Bill, in an odd moment, confesses his true love to her.
Yes. Yes, very strange.
Now, you want to wait until...
Interesting move, Bill.
You want to wait to either the first date or the third awkward encounter before you ask a lady who's clearly not interested in you, before you tell her that you love her. All right? That's just a general rule of thumb. You know, use that advice as you want. This was a bit strange because he goes, "I love you," and then she says, "Please leave." I love Sigourney Weaver. She's great. So they seem down on their luck. They're out with petty cash.
Oh, I'm glad you picked up on the phrase petty cash.
I love that phrase.
Fucking love it.
Petty cash. It's great.
Petty cash.
Take out petty cash. I would love it as a wrestler if my gimmick was that of like a shady accountant. I would have a finishing move called Petty Cash. Like it's a good sounding name, isn't it? Petty Cash. But yeah, they're running out of petty cash before they get a proper case, which Janine like screamed like, "We got one!"
Yeah, what's Janine's accent? Is it kind of... I thought it was Boston for a bit when she was saying whack.
I think it's like
just New York,
Queens.
Yeah,
I think.
Okay.
She sounds kind of like I imagine Aunt May would sound from Spider-Man, and she's from there as well.
Okay,
a little bit, but I think it's either Queens or Bronx or one of the other 5 mole boroughs in New York City. But yeah, they got a proper case. Yep. You can see them all go down the pole, change into the outfits. They're all excited.
Yeah, that's a nice moment.
It's a really cool moment. And you get like a really iconic scene here where they go to the big hotel to stop Slimer, the ghost who's causing all this chaos and whatnot. This is like kind of one of the most memorable scenes of the movie as they're trying to track this weird green little booger man. I love Slimer.
Yeah.
Slimer actually...
Well, he doesn't become much of a character in this
No, but he ended up being like the kind of, you're a nutty sidekick. In the cartoon, Slimer was like the, Slimer, get off! You know? He filled the animal/talking fucking sandwich or whatever it is you had to have in Saturday morning cartoons back then. So that was Slimer's role.
But ugly, scary prick in this.
They made him look quite like... He still is ugly.
Does he get cutesy?
He's a little cuter.
Yeah.
A little bit more kawaii.
Because this is genuinely a bit...
He's a bit unsettling. And they don't explain what he is, other than the fact that he just like is compelled
Hungry
to eat.
green blob.
Hungry green blob who can't eat food.
Yeah.
I'm not Fatso from Casper.
This is the thing.
Bears an alarming resemblance. Yeah. Again, I know Casper was pre that, but the whole Casper movie that was post that. So I'm just saying.
This is why I'm getting my references confused. I'm getting my streams crossed.
The whole thing of like, ghosts eat loads of food and falling through them. Like that's what's happening.
You shouldn't have two options.
Yeah, you shouldn't. It's smart way. Slimer zips through Venkman, who gets covered in ghost jizz.
Funny ghost jizz. It looks funny.
And there was a moment when that happened when Bill Murray was covered in this viscous liquid, and I thought that looked a lot like semen would. And for a moment there, I imagined if a load of people had released their essence on Bill Murray, and I had a bit of a laugh when I thought of that. I thought that's a silly image. And I had a bit of a titter there. And then I thought, that's actually a troubling image. You should stop thinking about that now and enjoy the family movie.
And they just ran out crying, saying, no one will believe you.
I just came into the room and Bill Murray was just covering all my dishes in semen. And he said, no one will believe you. It's, Bill Murray, what was he doing at that house party in Shropshire? What was he doing down there? He had no right to be there. Had Bill Murray.
There was a funny scene with the maid that they shoot, because that was
they shoot the first time they use their guns,
and they shoot her kind of trolley thing.
Yeah.
And then there's actual flames, and she's trying to extinguish them with one of her little spray bottles, which is just. There's nice little visual gags like that.
There's loads of really subtle background gags, which honestly...
often blurry and in the background.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
The extras are a rule unto themselves in this movie, because some of them act rather peculiarly, I would say. But that was a really cool little moment. Yeah. And you it's quite funny when they're like, oh, we do have these nuclear bombs on our back, essentially, and we've not even tested them. So you kind of get the sense that it's a little bit dangerous, the whole thing. We get a very iconic line or reference here where Egon tells them not to cross the streams.
Yep.
And if they cross their streams from their guns, that is bad news.
I've heard that before.
Don't cross the streams. I mean, it's not.
There was a stream at the bottom of the garden.
Don't cross the streams.
My parents just didn't want me to escape.
Didn't want to cross them. On the other side, every day you look at that stream thinking, someday I'll. It's like Alcatraz, basically,
Yeah.
But they do the whole business where they get him into the big ballroom, they zap him down, they have the
chandelier falls down, Only Fools and Horses theme plays,
and then they capture the ghost, and then Trigger does a face, and it's really cool because it's actually, I think it's the only moment in the movie where you actually see them do the whole they bring him in, they do the foot thing or the pedal, it opens up,
They put him in the ghost bin.
Have you kind of retrospectively got a slightly better childhood now that you've played with that and know, that's actually from a really cool thing?
That's nice. Yeah.
It is pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah. Another visual joke was Bill Murray doing the little tablecloth thing, which you can see coming a mile off, and yet it's still funny.
It's good.
That works.
He does a lot of obvious jokes, but that's it works, that he does that. But after catching a grand total of one ghost, we're then treated to a hearty montage of all their exploits.
We came, we saw, we kicked his ass.
Do you think it was too early in the movie for a montage?
Yeah, I did, because I think I kind of remarked about it to you. One case, ghost in the thing, and then we get just they have become successes montage.
It feels like there's another movie that was just taken away from us that was in that 5 minutes. It looked really fun. It's all this cool shit they're doing. They're in Chinatown, all parts of New York.
The film could have been 2.5 hours long.
Probably.
But instead it's, an hour 45. Which, is to its benefit. But it does feel like there's kind of a bit missing in the story.
Yeah. I mean, I do like, though, the fact that...
zip through it.
In this bit of montage, though, they really kind of... They managed to do it in a quite convincing manner, as if, say that ghosts suddenly did actually become a prominent thing in, New York. This is kind of a decent enough idea of what might happen. The way you've got, you see, the USA Today covers, and there's, the one which is do ghosts have civil rights? And Larry King is, talking about it. It was done really, really well.
And it was a good montage.
It does, and it really gives this movie kind of, a proper sense of place, because it it does have that nice legitimate edge to it because of this montage.
Is it in the montage that a ghost seems to fillet Ray?
Yeah. There's a part, there's a Ray wakes up and there's a ghost lady above him.
Yeah.
And then she unbuckles his pants.
Going down and his eyes go cross.
And he goes cross-eyed.
Back or something. Is that right? Are we all okay with that?
I'm not. I mean, I was saying earlier, kind of it's great because it's jokes for the adults and jokes for the kids. And this is very much a turn your heads, kids.
Yeah. Because that ghost is sucking off that man.
That dead, sad lady is sucking off
Jesus.
that man who probably believes in that shit. And you know what? But they wrote that fucking movie. I bet that's something like Quentin Tarantino is fucking foot rubs every 5 minutes. Ooh, can I get sucked off by a ghost? Can I fuck a crystal skull in this scene, please?
The thing is, right, if that when ghosts make contact with you, you get that ectoplasm thing. So if he had he become in all sorts of goo.
Mate, you know, there's kind of like an internal like 4 red alarm thing that goes off when I'm mentioning cum in a podcast. We've just hit that 4th amber light. Now we're on a code amber. I'm just saying.
But yeah, just if you think about the logistics of that, it doesn't bear thinking about.
It doesn't bear thinking about. No. But yeah, I mean, I guess it was between this and the other scene. Let's just say that maybe we got the lesser of two evils in this one. Finally, we get introduced to Ernie Hudson.
Yep.
I love Ernie Hudson because they give him the interview. Janine's like, "Do you believe in Atlantis and telekinetic power? If you got a steady paycheck, I believe whatever the hell you want." And that is a good motto to live your life by.
But he does kind of just turn up, get a job, and then he's in it.
That's it, like easy peasy. He's obviously got a kick-ass resume that we cannot see.
Yeah.
Or people aren't queuing up to be.
You don't get a Winston montage, do you?
No, you don't. He just kind of joins up, and that's it.
I'd like to be in the company. Okay,
fine. Everyone's sitting home going, "Dennis, I could have just walked in." But yeah, I mean, if you are kind of ever applying for a job and you are unsure of the principles of it, you know, maybe it's like an evil oil company that you're working for, or like a Roman Catholic thing, and you're an atheist, just say, as long as there's a steady paycheck, I'll be what the hell you want. And people are like, "Oh, that's fine. I respect that.
You're hired.
You're hired. Get on board, Winston. Get your overalls." Bill continues his courtship of Sigourney Weaver, and in one of those awful 80s aspirational things, because he's now famous, she's basically charmed as fuck by him.
Yeah.
He's just there kind of walking around, you know, looking all goofy, and she's like, "Oh, Bill." Yeah. I didn't
And she's there with her music mate.
Yeah, and the last words she said to him before were, "Please leave." And now she's all like, Mr. Murray.
Mr. Celebrity Man.
Mr. Celebrity Man, you know? And she's like, "Oh, I hear you're a big celebrity now," thinking, "Oh, that won't impress her." And then it clearly impresses her. But they've a date arranged for later.
Yep.
And Bill does look kind of cute doing his little skipping around with his red coat.
Yeah.
You know?
He's sweet, isn't he? In a weird kind of not sweet way.
In a weird, slightly
in a
threatening
sort of savoury way.
In a savoury, mildly sour, threatening way. The EPA appear. It's 1980s, so the environment is something annoying that only Democrats want. Oh, EPA, always ruining everything. Right. Always shutting down businesses. The EPA, he's represented by Walter Prick, whose main job seemingly is ruining fun.
Bloody environment coming over here ruining our fun.
I mean, he does have a pretty legitimate question, which is,
what the fuck are you doing?
What are you doing? Have you done a risk assessment?
Yeah.
It's health and safety gone mad.
That is kind of what his character is like this bad embodiment of naughty health and safety who ruins everyone's fun when we just trying to have a great time busting some ghosts.
I mean, this was obviously before you had the whole kind of early 90s, everyone must recycle and stop nuclear power at all costs, where this seemed to be very much, isn't oil great? Fuck you, EPA. Yeah. Protect this. I'm giving the finger to the microphone, you know? But he's certainly the villain of the piece.
He comes in and says, you know, "Where'd you put your ghosts, lads?" And they just said, "We put them in a bin, leave us alone."
And he's like, "Could there be chemicals?" And they're like, "Shut up.
Doesn't matter, mate."
No, you are, but what am I? Something I noticed at this point when they're downstairs, they smoke fuckloads in this movie.
Do they?
Yeah. Winston and Ray, they constantly got cigarettes on the go.
It never occurred to me.
Yeah, they're all sitting around
smoking a cigar, but I can't remember them smoking.
I mean, Ghostbusters are pretty cool, but man, they were smoking loads. Like, you know, it seems bad influence.
Smoking makes me feel good.
Smoking makes me feel good. EPA probably get them to stop smoking indoors as well. Oh, stop ruining our fun. We see some gargoyles on top of Sigourney Weaver's building come to life. And I was strongly reminded of the Disney TV series Gargoyles, where gargoyles come to life. That's all I had to say about that. It's, you know,
I've not seen it.
You've not seen Gargoyles?
Gargoyles swirl.
Oh, mate, it's great. There are these gargoyles, and they...
Don't tell me. Don't spoil it.
They come to life.
Oh,
It's proper freaky, mate. So Sigourney is getting ready for her big date.
Yep.
With Big Bill. And yeah, it's one of those things, don't you hate it when you're getting ready for the big date and then loads of hands come out of your chair and throw you into a Pink Floyd album cover?
Yeah,
it's all
scary.
Very scary.
Yeah.
It does pull out these moments of like, ugh.
Yeah,
there seems to be like kind of haha ghosts, and then there's like ghosts,
There's a bit of the chair moving around.
Yeah.
Which for some reason reminded me of Noel's house party, and I can't pinpoint why. I'm sure he had some kind of armchair that moved around the studio or something.
Spoiler alert, later on, the version we watched, Mr. Blobby comes to destroy it.
That would be in like a British Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah.
You'd think of a harmless thing in like the 90s, and you'd think of
Sam,
Mr.
you
Blobby.
know as well as I do that no man, woman or child who grew up in the 80s and 90s viewed Mr. Blobby as a harmless thing. He was, at light, he was annoying. And in reality, he was grating, obnoxious and borderline offensively violent and hateful. And hate Mr. Blobby.
Fucking scary if there's a big massive one in the middle of town, wouldn't it?
Seriously.
Yeah.
So the building starts to become gradually more evil. And Rick Moranis is having a party, and it's really sad because he's like, yeah, I'm running it for my clients so I can write it off as a tax expense. Mate, you haven't got friends who aren't clients, have you? You don't. All that smoked salmon gone to waste.
We're talking about the price of all the salmon and how we got it cheap. It's cute.
You know what? Sometimes if I get a proper bargain on something, particularly if it's something like smoked salmon,
fucking go on about it.
Hey, everybody, I got this fish for cheap. Come listen to me, okay? But his party is kind of shit, particularly the line where he says to the token babe in the party, maybe if we start dancing, other people will. And she does start dancing. He's like,
she goes along with it, which is quite sweet.
This isn't accountancy, I don't know what I'm doing. There is a gargoyle in his bedroom, though, and he only...
Under a pile of coats.
I keep calling them gargoyles. I hope that's politically correct. I mean...
Can that not be?
Are they... No, I'm just saying, do they prefer the term demon dogs?
Oh, okay.
I mean,
thought I'd missed something terrible.
Fucking gargoyles. Fucking...
You can't say that, Kevin.
Fucking gargy bastards. Get out of Lincolnshire. No place here. No place. This was a decent British community before you came up here. Start stinking up our Gothic architecture. So, Rick's party is a bust because the gargoyle ruins it and destroys most of the 22nd floor.
Yeah.
And
with some weird animation and some actual puppet... Is it like a kind of costumey puppet thing?
I thought it
claymation. There's some kind of other animation.
It's very hybrid.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
It didn't look... It was like, wow, that looks... Oh, no. Oh, but... Oh, no.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that, like... When it was standing still, A-okay.
Yeah.
When it was touching anything
Any
real,
kind of movement.
Yeah, it was... Like, there's a part where it runs across where it's like, my home planet needs you now. He just kind of clips across, you know. Rick seemingly gets possessed by some sort of spirit or demon and runs out all confused, leaving his party in ruins.
Yeah, and he runs out, and another one of these little visual gags is this old lady kind of pops out, sees the dog, goes, "Ah," and then goes back in again, and I love that.
It is, yeah, when he's going for the elevator. Blah! Yeah. It's very funny. It's very, like, little gags like that kind of really make this movie, and I think that's kind of maybe where a lot of the humour comes from. Is the fact
and
during
the montage, there was a beardy lad with long hair just
when the guy's talking
staring at the camera. Yeah,
news reporter. There's a dude in the background, he's just there. And he looks weird. It's really funny. And I don't know why, but it was. As a result of the building turning pretty damn evil, Venkman's day is also ruined. As he shows up, his day also is possessed.
Yeah.
But of course, when you are a man and you get possessed, you become all confused and disheveled. If you're a lady and become possessed, you get fucking really awesome eye makeup.
Yeah.
And a new dress.
Yeah.
And fucking gravity-defying hair.
You look like a music video.
You do. Cool. You honestly do. You look like someone is going... You look like Eurythmics, basically, if you're a lady and you get possessed. Venkman plays it pretty cool. She asks if he's the keymaster. He says no. Then he says he is.
Yeah.
Fool me once, shame on me. But yeah, he kind of he comes in, he realizes something is wrong, but he
goes with it anyway.
He goes with it anyway, and he's borderline. He's like crosses between caring and inappropriate.
Yeah.
He's like, I need to speak to Dana, and you get the really creepy, there is no Dana, only Zool. And that gives me the willies.
Yeah, he seems to be also making kind of jokes, which are clearly just for him because she doesn't really understand them. Like, I think she literally says, I want you inside me. Again, one for the kids. And then he says something like,
she wants him inside him. Is he going to do a wee inside her, Mummy? You know, how do you explain that to a child? You explain that.
But he does a little looks like there's already 2 people in there already, which is kind of like, funny in a kind of ghost way, and also like gross when you start thinking about it for too long.
It just seems like a joke from a different movie.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa!
But he's just doing this little set for himself.
Bill felt that the script wasn't rude enough, so he turned up the blue meter. And the scenes where he's on his own and he could do what he wants, he's kind of, what the fuck's going on here? With a cigarette in his mouth and a glass of scotch. So Rick is the keymaster that Dana is referring to, and she's asking for it. So if the two of those mate, seemingly bad stuff is going to happen.
So Lewis the nerd?
Yes.
Rick.
Lewis, Rick.
Yeah. He's back at the Ghostbusters HQ.
Yeah, the police pick him up and they give him over to him because they're like, well, he's obviously not drunk or crazy, so he must be a ghost.
And he's got a silly science hat on for testing.
Yeah, mate, come on. Anyone out there who's actually a scientist who's done a legitimate experiment with a colander, please get in touch. Because you never use them. You never do.
So you get a phone call back and forth between them at I keep wanting to call it the lab, but it's kind of the HQ, the base.
Yeah.
Ghostbustersville.
The Ghostbusters action playset.
Yeah. Call between them and Bill, who's there with Dana or Zool. And he does a little... She's unconscious because he's given her some sort of drugs.
Yeah. He's like, I pumped her full of drugs.
Yeah. And then he does a little kissing on her.
Yeah.
And it just skirts on the kind of this could go horribly wrong, and then it's all okay again,
mate.
Because he leaves.
You obviously don't know the bro code, which is 2 wrongs make a right. So if he drugged her, that would have been wrong.
Yeah.
If he possessed her, that would have been wrong. But because the 2 of them happened, that's okay apparently.
But he drugged her because she was possessed.
That's man. I think
we've all used that excuse.
We've all used that. Oh, she was possessed. Take it. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Take it downtown.
Yeah. So I've not got a problem with the drugging, but the kind of the kissing thing, because they've not had any kind of kissing at that point.
No, they've not. Well, she
has, but she was possessed.
But it was Zool, you know. If a demon inside you gives consent, are you giving consent?
He's playing up the ambiguity, is what I'm saying. He's trying to.
I'm saying if you opened up some of those Time magazines, these very, very well may have been the questions being asked by the authors within.
But he clears off. It's fine. It's all right.
Ray and Winston are driving in the car and have a really solid Christian chat.
Yeah,
I'm talking about Jesus Christ. I'm talking about the Lord. You know, there's 1 or 2 moments where they kind of go fucking proper Christian in this.
Yeah,
and this was one of them. They're kind of end of days. They're quoting the Bible, talking about how awesome Jesus is.
And it does feel like there's again the kind of thing about gaps in the story, because Winston's character kind of exists and is saying stuff according to his character, but you don't even really know what his character is, and it's just kind of...
maybe it's because I've seen Ghostbusters 2, which is admittedly a much worse movie than this one.
Okay.
But I'm always kind of Winston's probably one of my favourites, but he doesn't get much in this.
No.
Very little. Lines, jokes, whatever you want to call it.
He's in a car with Ray talking about Jesus, and then some 80s music comes on.
Yeah.
Gonna bust some ghosts. Mr. EPA.
Yeah, Mr. Prick.
What is his actual name? Mr. Peck. He beforehand was saying, well, I'm going to go get a warrant.
And he only
get your damn warrant. And then he comes back in and starts trying to...
ruin everything?
Shut down the unhygienic ghost restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only going to get a 1 rating out of 5.
He does feel like a Gordon Ramsay type character coming in and being like, this is wrong and this is wrong.
He opens up, there's loads of mouldy ghosts.
Shut it down. Shut it down. I don't know how to shut it down.
There are raw ghosts put in with cooked ghosts. What are you doing? So
you need some kind of sound effects.
He's like, turn it off, and it really is. I mean, if you're the EPA, you really should check these things first. But he flips a switch, and it causes loads of pink lights to come out of the roof.
Yeah.
And really compromise the whole roof structure there. And they release all the ghosts, and we get another montage, which I've affectionately named Boo York City.
Yeah. At one point, Bill Murray kind of just actually says, "Whoa." Like, this is really lackluster. Whoa.
Oh my god, look at these ghosts. There's a really cool montage though, and you get to see a lot of really cool, like the zombie cab driver, you get to see Slimer
which looked like an Iron Maiden album cover.
Seriously.
Like a live album from New York.
Where to? So the team end up in jail because it's been like alleged that they've caused this massive explosion or whatever, and the EPA have said that they've caused some sort of like, they use like nerve gas or something. Lads, I mean, if you honestly can't think of a tangible reason for the EPA to hate them, maybe they shouldn't be the villains. Right? Maybe it should just be some like ghost hating monster. So, I don't know, someone who you've wronged, but the EPA guy seems a bit phoned in at this point. They have a gas. No, they don't. Leave it be. So they're in jail. They have a bit of a team meeting where they discuss that they believe it's the end of the world because of the spike in activity. They find out that the building where Dana is actually been built by cult worshippers who worship Gozer and want to bring about the end of the world.
It's a veritable Spook Central.
It is. Spook Central, which is what I want to call my ghost house, which I'm developing at the moment, patent pending.
Please join me in Spook Central.
Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter if you dare. So they end up being called to the mayor's office, and to have a little bit of a chat. As all this is going on in the fracas, the keymaster and the gatekeeper meet up. It's quite funny, the two of them, even though they like hated, like she hated him, now they're kind of like linked up together. It's quite funny.
Rick Moranis saying he's the keymaster sounds so much like a kind of Dungeons and Dragons type thing that it completely suits his character.
If you've ever told your significant other during the act that you are a keymaster, or very well a gatekeeper, by all means, tweet in at Cinema Swirl. We might as well share. There's no shame. Well, there is shame in it. There's a lot of shame.
Yes.
What we're asking is a really big jump there. So you really have to ask yourself: do you want to tell a podcast if you've actually said that during sex? Because you probably don't. But if you do,
go right ahead.
Go Cinema Swirl, guys. Like, follow, subscribe. So the mayor's there, and he's got all his people. Lots of accusations of dicklessness being thrown around.
Yes, it's true, this man has no dick. There's some old man there saying, "I've seen every form of combustion known to man."
What a weird
claim! What a claim!
What a clunker of a line. I've seen every form of combustion. What is that? Every form of combustion. Explosions, fires...
Every form of combustion.
Every form of combustion there is. Blue flames, red flames, orange flames. So, the cardinal's in there as well, and he's like, officially the church can't take a stance on it.
Yeah.
But again, we get another kind of bit of a Christian chat. Old Testament stuff is coming their way. A couple of really iconic lines here, one of which Winston's probably line in the movie, which is, he's seen shit that'll turn you white, which I think is quite funny. And then, of course, as well, very iconic, which is when they're talking about the end of the world coming about, which is like oceans boiling, cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria.
Yeah.
Very, very iconic. Have you heard that one before?
I think I have.
Yeah, the mass hysteria. It's a t-shirt type of line.
I feel like I've heard "we came, we saw, we kicked his ass" before.
That's been used elsewhere, definitely, I think. Were there any other lines in this movie that were kind of like, oh, that's this? Or crossing the streams?
Across the streams, came, we saw, we kicked his ass. Cats and dogs living together. Other than that,
I'm sure if there's another one,
there's probably other ones.
Probably. We'll come across it if we do. So they get all released from prison, and it's a real nice kind of, this is such kind of a feel-good 80s movie, because there's a very much a kind of a underdog story where they come together, they have success, they get set back, and now they're going to beat the final boss.
The mean EPA man gets sent away.
Yeah, take him away. No!
I'll get you a nice fruit basket.
Take him back to the EPA offices.
To the environment.
No! Thus vanquishing him forever.
Yeah.
But
proper final boss fight type thing going on here.
I do love it, yeah.
Right.
When they're all like crowded in the building and they look up and there's all like purple lightning and black smog, and he said, "That's where it's all happening, isn't it?"
I reckon that's the source of the problem.
That was it there, yeah. Loads of dry ice oozing out of the place, okay? So they decide to climb up, gotta go fight the final boss.
They've got loads of fans around them. There's citizens in New York saying, Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters! Ghostbusters! Ghostbusters!
That's a much better chant.
Much better chant, guys. Get with it, you know? They climb up all the stairs to get to the top.
Hold on, don't they like fall down a fucking hole?
In a random moment, they're like, right, let's go get in there. Then they all fall in a hole. And
credits roll, end of movie.
There's something strange in the neighborhood. Watch your step, Ghostbusters. But yeah, it seemed like a random, like, we need...
I thought that was going to be important, that they were going to go underneath or something, and everyone would think they'd failed.
They fell into all this chocolate, and then they got out. Yeah. They weren't even dirty.
No.
It was like a 2-minute setback. It's like they missed a QuickTime event that was just there to say, you should know how to do these. Next time we won't be so light on you. Next time you'll die.
Yeah.
And you won't be able to reload because it auto-saves.
It seemed weird, but I liked the kind of pointlessness of it.
It's so pointless. I completely forgot about it. Like,
the police car goes in, they go in. It looks like they've probably fallen down a big hole.
All right, fine.
We're fine.
Dust each other off.
Yeah. I mean, that's the sort of point in time that someone would set a companion graphic novel. Would be the time they were down the hole for like 2 minutes.
The 2 minutes, they had a bit of a chat. Can we get out? Oh yeah, it looks like we can.
What happened in the hole, man?
They very quickly got out. That's what happened.
The IMDb forums are full of people theorising about what happened in the hole.
The fan theories of what happened in the hole. Who knows what happened in that hole? So they climb up all 22
What happened in the hole stays in the hole.
For fuck's sake. They climb up all 22 stories to get up to meet the evil final boss, Gozer, who, again, they claim can take any form they want. So it takes the form of David Bowie.
Yes.
All proper glittery...
kind of glittery, androgynous...
Ziggy, androgynous, fucking... Well, we say androgynous.
It's a woman.
They make every fucking woman line you can in the book to point out that it's a woman.
Chick... prehistoric bitch, minx, and probably some other ones.
I was waiting for them to call her a skirt or a broad. Look at this spooky broad. That's the spookiest dame I've ever seen.
It's all Bill Murray saying these lines. It's no one else.
It's just Bill Murray. Like, this is terrifying paranormal presence. Like, oh, look at the gams on that dame over there.
I'm not doing this film unless I can say prehistoric bitch.
That is like that is a deal breaker. Okay, that's why he's on Ghostbusters 3, because they didn't let him say that. Yeah. But yeah, they really kind of...
Times have changed, Bill.
Times have changed, Bill. You gotta let it go.
Stop being such a prehistoric bitch about it.
They have an encounter with Gozer, who's appearing in front of this Pink Floyd album artwork.
Yeah. The thing about this scene is that the quality of the look of everything changes between... It's like the dog running around.
It's like someone flicking his switch.
You get some really beautiful looking shots that look like paintings of New York, where it's all kind of surreal.
And you can see the park
kind of crap...
Because the close-ups of like, the temple,
school play kind of thing with the lightning.
When they're all there on top, and it's like the close-up shot of like Gozer and the Guardians and like the actual little temple and all that and the dry ice, it looks pretty rinky-dink.
Yeah.
I don't know if this might be an obscure reference, but Blackadder Christmas special when they go into the future and it's all kind of like it's all a little bit shit, you know? It's a little bit sparkly and white and dry ice.
But then they pan out and it's still kind of not real looking, but it looks really
kind of like creepy and it looks like paranormal. It looks like a creepy version of New York. Yeah. And there's a few of those shots and you do cut between like wow, you know? So yeah, it was quite interesting on that part. Gozer's voice is incredibly creepy. Are you a god? Then you will die. Yeah. So
Winston says something like, someone asks you if you're a god, just say yeah. Oh yeah, that famous adage, that famous bit of advice, just say you're a god. And
I'm just saying, the obviously incredibly Christian Winston, that line was inconsistent, sir, with your beliefs.
Yeah. Also, throughout this film, I've been thinking that there's no science of anything, and I have no real idea what's going on.
There's a solid cod science. Okay. Like because I remember the Ghostbusters game came out on 360 and PS3 like a couple of years ago, and it is a solid game, by the by.
Okay.
And there is like the level of detail and fandom for Ghostbusters means that people have got names for everything.
They've figured out the science themselves.
They filled it out, and there was actually a lot more than you would think. Like they do kind of put a lot of thought into it. Like they're like the generators, the backpacks. It all has sense, how it's powered, how it works, how the ghosts work. It's really quite good.
As far as I'm concerned, it's just nuclear
zap guns.
And it's electric.
And that's an interesting thing. It's something I wanted to ask you about.
They've got nuclear electric.
Nuclear electric. Something I wanted to ask you is, given the fact that you've seen this movie, and the fact now that we've maybe revealed that there's a lot of this extended lore, even though we only have 2 movies, one of which, Ghostbusters 2 is not that good a movie.
3.
No, there's only 2 Ghostbusters movies. The third one is on its way. There's the game as well. You've got, obviously, TV, the animation stuff. But does the fact that there seems to be a massive proliferation of, men who have complete Ghostbuster replica outfits. I mean, I've got friends who've paid like hundreds of quid for like a replica ghost trap or a replica backpack and all that stuff.
I can understand. It's the same as like Back to the Future skateboard and things like that.
But it has inspired this like extra level of fandom. For one movie, it's quite like for one proper, decent, awesome movie.
For what is ostensibly a comedy movie.
Action.
Yeah. I guess so. It kind of fits in the same category as things like Back to the Future.
Well, it's much more. I mean, there's a lot more people who've got Ghostbusters merch than have Back to the Future merch, I would say. Yeah, definitely.
Well, I was in Georgia Asda the other day and I saw you can get like a t-shirt that looks like the
actual Ghostbusters suit. I mean, there's so much merch. But I mean, like in terms of like the expensive hobbyist who wants to have the replica Ghostbusters, everything, the headset, the trap, the PK meter, all that jazz. Yeah. There's quite a lot of that. And I always find that
fine.
Yeah, I just find it maybe it's kind of not strange, but it's surprising, I guess.
Yeah.
It's one movie.
All the stuff looks cool, even if it doesn't really make any sense.
Oh, definitely. I'm just saying this is a bitter kid who never had any Ghostbusters toys and was pissed off at that fact. Okay, I had to make do with Star Wars.
I had Ghostbusters toys, wasn't even a fan, mate.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
I had the fucking car. With all the
podcast cancelled, you son of a bitch. So Gozer disappears and then informs them that they have to choose the form of the Destructor. And in a little bit of a leap of logic, Bill Murray's like, whatever we think will become the final boss. Mate, you need...
Are you sure, Bill?
Are you sure? All I'm saying is have a scene where you look at an old book and go, oh, it says here that we'll pick the form of the... That was just a little bit of a leap. In that scenario, I don't think Bill Murray's character could face that massive correct leap of judgment.
The film crams a lot in. You can't blame it for just kind of steamrolling through.
You do get the feeling, I think you copped at this point, that they very much were intent on having the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and how they got to that fact was
quickly write around it, try and figure out how to lead to that point.
Yeah, that was less important than the fact that they had the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man appear at the end. And it's Ray, he's meant to be clearing his thoughts, and he thinks of the most harmless thing in the world, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, which then comes to
Harold Ramis and Dan Aykroyd thought of the Stay Puft Marshmallow thing and then went for lunch. And then thought, we'll finish off the bit of how they get to that after lunch. Never got around to it.
And then still there going,
and the next day was homework hand-in day.
They missed the deadline. They forgot to submit it.
It's what we think of. It's what they think. They have to think of it, and then if they think of it, it happens. Yeah.
Easy.
So put it down.
Peasy.
Put it down. Hand it in.
Shut up, Bill. Say the line.
Yeah.
So it takes the form of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yep.
And honestly, every time I see the scene, it always makes me smile.
It is cool.
It looks, because it's meant to be a shitty, like, plasticine model thing.
Clever choice.
It is the perfect choice, because it looks perfect.
You got something actually big and scary. Rubbish. It would have looked rubbish.
It is scary in its own way.
It's scary.
When it pulls that face where it's all and it makes that noise, it's like, you're not the harmless marshmallow sailor boy I thought you were.
It's a nice bit of juxtaposition, isn't it?
I love it. I think it's iconic as fuck. I mean, you got this giant Stay Puft Marshmallow Man stomping around New York, and you know what? You only see him for maybe 3 minutes. There's like 3 shots with him. Not that long, but
him stomping around.
It's probably the most enduring thing about this movie that people know. I mean, you knew it.
Yeah.
Even though he's only in this movie very briefly, all the toys, most of the merchandise, it's always that in some way, shape, or form. So Stay Puft, they set him on fire, which gives a delicious roasted marshmallow vibe to the whole thing. Mm-hmm. They end up deciding, in a nice little fit of that'll solve everything, to cross the streams. And if they do that into the Gozer portal, it'll all be over. And sure enough, it is.
Fuck it, why not?
Fuck it, why not?
Yeah.
Guys, it's your movie.
Cool.
Cool with that.
Yeah.
Awesome. They cross the streets.
Let's just get to the end.
And it causes a mass explosion and
Stay Puft blows up.
Everywhere there is goo.
Pet gets gooped.
I like that he gets covered in goo.
Another kind of Noel's house party type funny gunging.
Yeah, Noel loved gunging people.
Yeah.
But Noel hated being gunged himself.
Oh.
And Peck looked a bit like Noel, so I thought if Noel saw that, he might get nightmares.
He'd get grumpy.
Or a daymare, or a terror of some sort, you know?
Yep.
Kablamo, everything is saved, and surprisingly, even though it was a mass explosion, the Ghostbusters are all okay, and Rick Moranis and Sigourney Weaver are also all okay.
Now, Bill is the only one out of the group who's not completely covered in goop.
Yeah.
He just got a bit of goop on his hair.
He got a little bit of goop.
And I feel that's because he's then able to express some emotion, which he doesn't do that well, when you can see that Sigourney might be dead in the dog.
He looks kind of surly, doesn't he? Fuck's sake. Oh, I bet you're dead now, aren't you? Fucking
Oh, sorry, Pete. I forgot that, and he's like... And then they open her up like a big kind of
like a piñata, maybe?
Yeah, kind of
with
like
a lady
piñata.
inside.
I was thinking a Kinder Surprise kind of thing. And then,
there's a woman inside. Like, oh, damn it, this one's got Rick Moranis. I got the dud prize. Like, and they all go down. Super successful. Happy celebrations as the credits roll.
Yeah.
That was Ghostbusters.
There you go.
What did you think of that one?
Made me feel good.
Made you feel good.
Yeah.
It is a feel-good movie.
There's some little problematic things. There's a bit of Bill Murray being kind of slightly...
we're probably going to get a lot of flack for the Bill Murray hate. I mean, I will say I
don't hate Bill Murray.
I don't hate him
at
either.
all. I like Bill Murray.
I think it's quite an easy target because he's on such a pedestal, I think, for so many people.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't dislike the man at all. I mean, I'm a massive fan of him and his movies.
But I feel the level of devotion that people have to Bill Murray is kind of like saying that, Bacon's not that great. And people go, oh, fuck you, man.
Dude, Bacon is live. Yeah. Zombie Bacon, Bill Murray. Oh, why didn't we think of that sooner?
Keep calm and Bill Murray.
I'm just saying, guys, should you be dancing around that golden Bill Murray statue? Is he not a bit of a false idol at some point? I mean, are you making him to be too big? But he was
good in this movie.
He's so good in this movie.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's quite funny because he really is like the main source of humour. You get the background stuff, and you get feeling a lot of the time that the other three characters are kind of playing straight man for him.
Yeah.
A little bit. They have their own individual quirks and moments.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we really got into Egon much in this, but I mean, I think by comparison, the other characters seem a little tame compared to Bill. I mean, he really does steal the show.
A little, maybe also underdeveloped, possibly.
Yeah.
Does that come out more in Ghostbusters 2?
You
said it was a lot worse.
I don't think Ghostbusters 2 is that great a movie.
Is that the general consensus? Or is that
the general consensus is it's nowhere near as good as the first one.
Okay.
There's still parts about it, like, I think the villain in it is more, is more memorable in some respects. There's some parts of that movie that I just fucking, think are awesome.
I've already forgotten what the name of the villain is. Gozer.
Gozer.
Yeah,
there is Gozer, Zool, Yeah, it's not without its merits, but it definitely is. I mean, there's a reason they didn't make a third one.
Right, okay.
And I think there's an element of Ghostbusters 2 of kind of trying to capture the spirit of the first and maybe not doing it as well.
Yeah.
But I was wondering, after watching this, anytime we do a big franchise movie, I'll kind of go, are you interested in, looking at more stuff? Would you seek out other Ghostbusters stuff? I mean, there's fucking comic books, graphic novels, video games, from, not just the recent one, there's ones on previous generations. There's a lot of Ghostbusters media.
I feel like I'd want to spend more time with those characters.
Yeah.
To get that feeling. That would not go amiss.
I do recall you at one point saying that you wanted to buy a Ghostbusters logo sign or something.
The sign that they hang outside their thing.
Yeah.
Where it's slightly a relief.
Yeah.
I just like that. The kind of enamel looking thing. I want one of those.
So
I want that as a bar of soap.
That would be really fucking sweet, wouldn't it? Yeah. So, closing thoughts then, in a nutshell, Ghostbusters, did it live up to the hype?
Yeah. Yes.
A hesitant yes?
It didn't exceed the hype, I don't think. It's it is a good film. Very good.
Do you think
I can see why it's a cult? Well, it's not even a cult classic.
No, it's not. It's just a classic, yeah.
I can see why it has this cult around it, of people enjoying it a lot.
This is one of these movies, though, that I think because it has such a massive following and such a whole world around it, that I worry that, having not watched it as a kid or whatever, that you kind of maybe have missed out. Do you feel that kind of damn, I should have watched that earlier and this wasn't the experience it could have been? Or
maybe, yeah, I probably would have understood those toys better as a kid if I watched the film.
But I don't think you have to be like a young kid to be able to...
No, I still had a great time watching that.
Definitely.
It was a lot of fun.
A laugh and a half.
Yeah. I think laugh out loud hilarious all the time, but just
fun
and funny.
That's a really good thing to say about a movie when it can be fun and funny.
Yeah.
You know? And I think we're left with a nice warm gooey feeling inside. And
kind of marshmallowy feeling.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think maybe it's that fact I want marshmallows, but the fact I saw that you enjoyed it so much. And it did it was a movie which I hadn't seen in a few years, but it definitely did hold up, and it was still fun to watch. There's still lots of fun to be had in watching Ghostbusters, and I'll probably end up watching it again, and lots of people will probably end up watching it again. I mean, it's just a movie that you constantly watch.
It will exist in popular culture for a long, long time.
Do you ever get the feeling you want to rewatch any of these movies? Like get it on DVD?
Big Lebowski is the one that I want to watch again, but haven't yet.
Yeah, because you think there's probably more in the second viewing.
Other than that, no strong desire. But it's one of those things where if it's on, I'll watch them now. I don't think there's any that I wouldn't watch. Although I did see that Back to the Future was on. I started watching it for a bit, and I got a bit bored. Turned over. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
It's interesting now because, I mean, the two ones so far that have been big sore points for you are ones that you were a bit kind of on were Back to the Future and Indiana Jones, which would be two of the three non-Star Wars, this is the 1980s.
Yeah.
But Ghostbusters,
I enjoyed much more
than either of those two.
Yes, I would say so.
Wow, very interesting. If I was to cautionally ask you for a Star Wipe rating, what would it be?
Well, the theme gets fucking 10 Star Wipes. Yeah, out of a possible 9. So that's how good it is.
Wow.
But
so good it's on an incorrect scale.
I feel I'm giving 4s to a lot of things recently. But nevertheless, 4 Star Wipes.
Well, you heard it here first.
Thanks once again for listening to Cinema Swirl. This episode was produced by Kevin, it was edited by me, Sam, and the music was also by me. If you want to vote for our future episodes, you can do so over at facebook.com/Cinema Swirl. We're doing themed votes at the moment, as I'm sure you've gathered. As always, you can follow us on Twitter, that's @Cinema Swirl. And if you have any questions, queries, comments, or other stuff, you can send it to cinemaswirl@gmail.com. That's cinemaswirl@gmail.com. Please subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, or whichever podcast thing you use. And if you like the show, leave a review.